Hi everybody, I'm Farah Queen from Indonesia, and thank you Ingo for inviting me to the United Chefs Challenge. Here we are in my kitchen in Jakarta. We are still in the large-scale social distancing at the moment. I'm going to share a recipe of the most loved Indonesian cookies called nastar. This is pineapple with pineapple filling. It's to die for. And here we are celebrating the month of Ramadan. That means Eid is coming up soon. It's a huge celebration for the Muslims. And every single household in Indonesia will have these cookies there. So this is the most loved and the most important cookies that I can think of to show you. By the way, untuk teman-teman yang ada di Indonesia, I'm sorry hari ini saya harus bahasa Inggris ya, biar teman-teman chefs yang ada di luar sana mengerti apa yang saya lakukan. Alright, first of all, I'm going to show you how to do the filling. For the pineapple filling, I have 2 pineapples all peeled and cut up like this. So the weight is about 1 kilogram. So I think each pineapple is about 500 grams. So we're going to blend this. When my mom used to do it when I was little, she used to use the grater for it. But now it's so much easier to just use the blender. And I'm going to do it because my blender is not big, so I will do it half and half. So we're going to puree this with no water. Okay, so now I'm going to put it on the pan like this. Okay, let's do the rest. Now we have the pineapple puree here, just turn on the heat. So we're going to cook it down until all the liquid pretty much evaporates. So they're going to become a very thick jam. That will be the filling. And we're going to add some seasonings for this. I'm going to use the cinnamon sticks. So this is a must. We have to have cinnamon sticks. I use about 3 of them. And then also whole cloves. About 6 pieces of whole cloves. And I'm also going to add vanilla beans. I think for the original recipe here, they don't really use vanilla beans, but I like using vanilla beans. And this is what makes these cookies very special because of the fresh pineapple fillings. Of course, they also sell the ready-to-use and shortcuts like that, but the result is, I mean, you can tell which one is the good quality nastar, which one is just whatever kind of nastar. Okay, let me put this vanilla in there. And then we're also going to add some sugar. I'm only using 75 grams of sugar. Some recipes call up until 200 grams. I think when they're too sweet, it just takes away everything. I don't like it when my filling is too sweet. So I'm only using 75 grams. Of course, you can adjust. Depends on how sweet your pineapples to begin with. And we're going to cook this down. So you can see that the water start to bubbles everywhere. And have a little bit of patience. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. So we're gonna use about half of a teaspoon of sea salt or kosher salt. And this will take a little while. So while we're waiting for our pineapple jam filling to cook down, I'm going to bring all the ingredients for the cookies. So now while we're waiting for the filling to cook down, you don't have to stir it all the time. So you can just leave it there and then once in a while stir it. The dough is actually very simple and you want the cookies to just melt in the mouth. So it's not a crunchy type of cookies. It's also not a chewy type of cookies. It's got its own texture. When you put it in the mouth, it just pretty much melts in there and then you get the pineapple filling inside. It's fantastic. So we're using butter. Here I'm using unsalted butter, about 200 grams. And also, this is where the quality, where you can taste the different qualities of nastar cookies. Because some people make them with margarine. I mean, if you go to the bakery, you can see the different prices, because otherwise when they're using all butter, the cookies cost so much, because you're going to see how we do it. Everything has to be precise and it takes a lot of patience. No wonder why it costs a lot. And a lot of people, they're also using margarine to just lower the cost. But again, as I said, when you take a bite into it, you know the quality, which one is the good one. I'm going to add 50 grams of powdered sugar. And we are going to, we're just using the pedal attachment, and I'm going to mix this just for a bit. Don't mix it too much, yeah? We don't want it to be mixed too much, because we want the dough to be nice and soft. And if you put too much air into it, the cookies will crack later on. So as long as it mixes well, and it's fine. Add 2 egg yolks. Mix it a little bit more. And don't forget the sides. Make sure we scrape it off like this. Now we're going to add the flour. I'm just using the all-purpose flour. It's 280 grams. And to get that melts in the mouth texture, we add 20 grams of cornstarch. We call them maizena here. Also 40 grams of milk powder, powdered milk, and a little pinch of salt. And we're going to mix this just until everything blends. That's it. Okay, when it starts to come together, pretty much just turn it off. And we're going to mix it by hands. We don't want our cookies to be tough, so it's really important to not overmix. And by the way, once in a while, we check on our pineapples. We can stir it like this. Just stir it once in a while and let it go. Now we're going to mix this with hands. Put them on a bowl so you can see it. So you want to get everything from the bottom. And I remember when I was a little girl, my mom would bake this also for Eid. And when I come home from school, I used to get so excited smelling that sweetness of pineapple, like what I'm smelling right now. By the way, we have to stir it here and there. And this smell is so fabulous. It's the vanilla, it's the clove, cinnamon, and sweet pineapple. Now for the cookies. Let's mix it a little bit because it looks really crumbly, but after you kind of put it together with your hands, it starts to just come together. Okay, this dough is ready. I'm going to show you what the filling looks like. So you want to get the pineapple to cook all the way down until it becomes very, very thick, and also the color turns kind of golden brown. So this is how you want it. And note, the more sugar that you add in it, of course it will become stronger, etc. But for me, I really love the true flavor of the pineapples. That's why I don't use so much sugar, but it will not last as long. But trust me, if you make this, I think one jar will just go in a blink. So now I'm using a scale because we have to make it very precise. That's why I said this cookies is very expensive, because you have to make them look really, really pretty and nice. I'm going to use this little tiny scoop for my dough, which is 6 grams of the cookie dough. That means the filling has to be smaller. So the filling, I will weigh it about 4 grams. And if your hands get sticky, just dip it in oil. So pretty much you do, 4 grams, like that. And then after you have 4 grams, you want to roll it in a ball like this. So make sure we prepare all the pineapple filling first before we do anything with the cookie dough. Yeah, and make sure it's really, really cold. I mean, it cools down. You cannot work with it when it's still really, really hot. I'm only showing you here a few because otherwise we'll be here all day. So after you get all the balls, and now you can portion out the cookies. The cookies, as I said, I'm using this tiny scoop. It weighs about 6 grams. So we also want to portion out the cookies like this. And I will show you how to do it. So pretty much we take one of the cookie dough, flatten it out with your fingers on the palm of your hand, and then we put the filling inside. We close it up and make it a really nice, perfect round ball. So make sure you seal it really good, like this. So make it really nice like this. And for one recipe, this will get you about 2 trays. It's about 2 jars. So we arrange them in the sheet pan like this. Okay, we're going to put a gloss on top of the cookies, but before we do that, we like to bake it first in 180 Celsius degrees about 5 to 10 minutes. And then after that, we take them out, then we put the gloss on top. So here's our half-baked cookies. Let it cool a little bit, just for a few minutes. And we're going to make the gloss. So we want our pineapple cookies to be really nice and shiny. And also what I'm showing you right now is actually the traditional shape, which is the round. Nowadays in Indonesia, we make them all different shapes. We make them look like oranges, guava, also the one with the date filling, we shape them up looking like a date. So we have all new variations now, but this is the most traditional one. And for the gloss, this is 2 egg yolks, and we're going to add, okay, let's add 1 teaspoon of oil first. And also 1 teaspoon of condensed milk. And we're going to mix this up. And for the temperature of the oven, now you can lower it to between 140 to 160. So we want to cook them so slowly. And after it's all mixed, we can brush on top of our cookies. Oops, I think I put a little bit too much on that one. Like that. See the difference? So make sure you get all the sides. This is why I said these cookies are really expensive when you buy them in the supermarket or at the patisserie, because it takes a lot of patience and work. But when you take a bite into it, it's so worth it. Once they're all glazed with the egg yolk mixture, they're going back to the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, about 140 to 160 Celsius degrees. Here are the cookies when they came out of the oven. Look how beautiful. They're so shiny and gorgeous. And I can guarantee if you put one in your mouth, you're never gonna stop. I hope you guys like the recipes. Also, please stay safe and healthy. See you next time.